Today I was given a dose of the member berries, and as a wise man once said, if I have to see it, then you do as well. I was sitting minding my own business, twiddling my thumbs, and trying to find a new video to react to as usual, and I was reminded of the event that happened a few years back in a Pokemon competition that went slightly awry. And by slightly awry, I mean that two people were arrested for trying to bring big guns into the event. More specifically, there were two people that tried to bring guns to the World's event in Boston in 2015. Now, some of you might have the reaction of, whoa, what the heck? What? That's crazy. That's insane. How did that even happen? And then the Americans watching this are just like, well, yeah, I mean, of course, what do you... Yeah, duh. Well, what do you mean? So Tweedledee and Tweedledum were arrested for trying to bring this assortment of firearms, this actual armory, this setup of mercenaries into the World's event in Boston. Now, I'm not exactly sure how the gun laws in Massachusetts and Boston work, but I'm pretty sure that's generally considered not okay to do. I imagine if you were in another state like Texas or Mississippi, they'd give you a high five, welcome you in with open arms, and probably get the rifle straps tangled in with their own, because I just assume that everyone in Texas is armed to the gills. I've never actually been to Texas, so I just have this headcanon where you're walking around and everyone has like bazookas strapped to their shoulders and everyone drives around in tanks because, you know, everything's bigger in Texas, so that just makes sense. But they weren't just arrested for making or bringing the weapons to the events. No, because that would be too simple. They actually made a post about how they're gonna bring the guns to the event. And I've seen enough school shooter situations to know that that's a bit concerning and maybe something should be done about it, which thankfully something was done in this situation. But in a hilarious moment of self-reporting, they made this post here. Kevin Norton and I are ready for World's Boston. Here we come. And two people liked it because obviously there's two deranged folks there. Seen by 21 because they made a post in a local Pokemon Facebook group that just talks about the TCG. And they just came in and talked about how, yeah, can't wait to head over there and just gonna check it out. Gonna take my guns and shotguns. This is gonna be awesome. And as if that self-reporting wasn't enough, they had to go a step further. They had to really make it clear that they're idiots. When someone just innocuously says, all right, good luck. And then Kevin replies with killing the competition. And Joey, for some reason, thought that, yeah, it's great. It's a really funny joke to me. I know it's 2015 where edgy humor is a little bit more common, but you'd think this is still the day and age where shootings are bad and pretty common. You wouldn't make a joke like that. I don't know, maybe my sense of time has been warped ever since shootings became super common, but I think they were really common in 2015. And that's not the kind of thing that you would say if you didn't want people to look at you and think, ooh, that's a bit of a weirdo. Maybe we should, you want me to like call the police on that one? Now, both of these individuals were actually competitors in Worlds in the Masters division of, I believe, the TCG area, where you can win up to $500,000. So I don't know, were they planning to mug the Pokemon company if they lost? It's like, oh, well, you may have defeated my Mewtwo deck, but I have an AR-15, so... In fact, it wasn't just an AR-15. They also had a 12-gauge shotgun, the AR-15 rifle, several hundred rounds of ammunition, 100 rounds, and a hunting knife for some reason as well. What are you hunting? What are you hunting in Boston? You think there's deer in Boston? What are you gonna shoot with a shotgun in Boston? I've been to Boston enough times to know that there's not just wild animals running around that you can just bang bang shoot out of nowhere. And the fact that you brought several hundred rounds of ammunition is like almost hilarious. Like, what are you gonna do with all that ammo? You won't even be able to load it all into the gun. It's a ludicrous amount of ammunition. You probably wasted all your money on that. Why'd you spend all your money on that when you could have bought like better cards or a coach to make you better at the TCG or a lawyer that would have told you not to post your guns on Facebook and insinuate that you're gonna kill the competition? All of that would have probably been a better use for money. Also, as a quick side note, I'd just like to apologize personally to the people of Boston that you had to deal with this. Of course, you did dump all the tea in the harbor, which does hurt me to this day, but I wish no ill will on the Bostonians. They have to live in Boston after all, which is a bad enough sentence as it gets, so You know, it can't make it even worse. And in this situation, it seems that we have unlocked the neutral ending. Not the bad ending, thankfully, because they were arrested before anything happened. And not the good ending, because they got arrested, yes, but they did plead guilty to the unlawful possession of guns and the 300 rounds of ammunition, which they weren't even allowed to have the guns in the first place. So that's awesome. But the duo pled guilty and they were sentenced to 2 years in prison and 2 years of probation. So actually, that's all gone now. That they're just out now. That's fun. But to be fair, to play devil's advocate, it's nice to get two sides of the story. So let's see what they said in their own defense. The attorney in their defense said that it was adolescent stuff that wasn't threatening in any capacity. Adolescent stuff being very ironic because one of them was 27 years old. The other one was 18, but like, come on, you're older than me, dude. What are you doing? And another point of his defense was they basically always drive around with loaded rifles in Iowa, quotation mark, as if, that makes it okay. Oh, what do you mean? They always drive around with loaded rifles that they're gonna take to events? Oh, that, of course. Oh, it's just Iowa things. I mean, that's the only thing that happens in Iowa, apart from potatoes, or is that Idaho? I don't know. I don't know my states all that well. Even though driving around with loaded guns in Iowa is also illegal. So it's hilarious to have your own attorney snitching on you, saying that, oh, no, everyone does this. It's cool to drive around with like loaded guns, not realizing that that is also illegal according to Iowa gun laws, or at least according to this comment is. I tried to open the link, but apparently the website is just completely broken. That's great. Thanks, Iowa. It always boggles my mind as a dirty, disgusting British man about the strange attachment that Americans have to guns and just the need to take them everywhere. I really think that they didn't mean all that much about it. I don't think that they were going to go over there and do a mass shooting. At least I hope not. I hope for the best in people all the time. I really think that they just didn't even think about it. They just threw some rifles in the back and they were like, whatever, we'll just take them over as whatever. They did make the post and they made a joke about it. I think that's because they're idiots, to be honest, more so than anything else. I could be wrong. Maybe they stopped a shooting, but they're out of prison now and they're off probation now. So, hey, I don't know what they're up to now, but maybe think about what you're posting online before you do it. Also, why is there an increase of self-reports? Why do people just go online and post their crimes as if they're not going to get arrested immediately? This happens on TikTok all the time and it just boggles my mind. It's so silly. People just go on and talk about the crimes that they're doing. All it takes is a police officer to scroll a little bit too much on their break and like, oh yeah. Oh no, we should probably arrest this one, actually. We should go and check this one out. There was a person on 4chan that was arrested recently because they just went online and posted about how they wanted to like kill a police officer and the police were like, oh no, you can't post that. No. And they just went and arrested them. Stop posting your crimes. You idiots. Really, the moral of the story is we can all breathe easy that the next one won't have the threat of this because it's not in the USA. It's not in London like it was last year, which, went relatively smoothly, but it's in Japan, and Japan gun laws, I assume, are pretty strict. At the very least, you won't have an 18-year-old from Iowa taking his hunting rifle to the event because I don't think they'd let him in the country. The Japan visa and immigration laws, they're so strict. I mean, they won't let me take my AR-15. What is this woke Japanese culture? This entire story was just sitting at the back of my mind, burning a hole, and I had to tell someone about it, so I told you. And I also told you should subscribe to the second channel, which for some reason you haven't done yet. And the second channel is this one, unless you've only ever watched this channel. In which case, hey, how's it going? How you having a good day? Shit, sorry.